Do you know that feeling when you see on social media that people go to the coolest events while you're bored at home? The feeling when you see your friends posting cute pics with their boyfriends while you're single and nobody seems to be interested? The miserable feeling after hours of scrolling on social media, thinking how you wasted another day. Well, so do we, and we want to do something about it. We are Stefanie, Witse, Maite, and Jana, and we will work for our EPO project on mental health problems of youth and young adults due to social media. People can feel bad in many ways. It ranges from stress and insecurity to depression and sometimes even suicide. More than 90% of young people use social media, and research indicates that since social media is available on mobile, non-fatal self-harm increased by more than 60% and suicide by more than 70%. We started with a general desk research, reading papers and articles about the topic and watching documentaries, from which we could conclude that our topic is very actual. Next, we use several tools to understand what we need to find out during the interviews. In the meantime, we also interviewed 10 people. The first and most important stakeholders were 2 young interviewees who suffer from mental health problems due to social media. We asked the sister of one of these girls to fill in a questionnaire. The next group of respondents are 2 interviewees who did research about mental health issues within the target group young adults. Also, people who offer help to the youth, such as psychologists, are relevant for our research. Our 5th interviewee volunteers at the platform AWEL. To get an idea of social media use in the school context, we did an interview with a teacher and student counselor. Also, influencers are involved, people who have a wide reach on social media. The 2 influencers we interviewed both post about mental health on their platforms and experienced mental health problems themselves. While conducting these interviews, we realized there was still one link missing, someone who has nothing to do with social media. Therefore, we interviewed a boy who deleted his social media several years ago. We launched a survey next to the interviews, which had no less than 250 respondents. This provided us with a lot of interesting insights. Here are some of the most important facts we learned from the interview and survey. People have to be supported to talk about their problems. We have to make the topic more accessible. Seeing that you're not the only one with your problem would help. People should be educated about what is and what isn't appropriate on social media. Mental health problems due to social media are very common. People get insecure, jealous, and lonely due to social media, especially girls. They constantly compare themselves with others, which makes them feel bad. A conflict arises between people's real life and the life they post on social media. Depressive people, first of all, have to realize that they have a problem. The threshold to find help should be way lower. Youth are afraid to fail. They experience a lot of pressure. Individualism is the center of our beliefs. When you fail, that's your own fault. There is a gap between generations about social media, which makes it more difficult to talk about and understand the problems. Older generations should be educated about a problem in order to be able to help their loved ones. We used some tools to organize the immense amount of information. This resulted in requirements that should definitely be included in our solution. After exploring and researching, we came to the ideation phase of our project. Thanks to the results of the tools, we could pick the best ideas and combine them with features we didn't want to leave behind. We made several quick designs and brainstorms even more in group. This resulted in 3 concepts. The first concept is a pop-up booth to use in public places. The booth will exist of several parts and focuses on creating interactions in a fun way. This, for example, through projecting meaningful messages on the body of the user, creating real images and positive feelings about themselves. People could also take pictures at the pop-up booth to post it on social media, creating more awareness and positive vibes over the internet. By scanning the QR code located on the booth, you can download the app and join our mental health community. The app gives information about existing health platforms and provides the user of daily tips, quotes, and questions like "How are you feeling today?" The general goal of the concept is to create awareness of the mental health problem, to let people know that they are not alone. Our second concept is about creating a cafe to talk with strangers. We wanted to get people talking in a less severe way than, for example, going to a psychologist. That's why we would use special mugs. These mugs are capable of sending messages to strangers in the cafe or changing color related to the answer given on a certain question. The change of color lets people know that they are not alone with their feelings and that there are more people who gave the same answer to the same question. Next, the mug can be linked to an app, to your smartphone, to game or speed date with other people going through the same situation. There are many different options and ideas, but it all comes down to the same thing. Let's talk. The third concept is an interactive bench. First of all, the bench is connected to an app, which makes it possible to create an online community. Via the app, you fill in some questions, and you can connect with people you don't know who suffer the same mental health problems or people who have experienced it before and now want to help you. You can make an appointment at the bench and have a deep conversation. The bench supports you during the talking, gives you ideas to start the conversation, asks questions, and so on. You're not obligated to make an online appointment to use the bench. You can simply walk by, notice the bench, take a seat, and play the same game with your company by scanning the QR code. To be sure what parts had potential, we made contact with our interviewees and asked their opinion. The feedback was very clear. According to the feedback and our own ideas, we made one big concept, especially combining the pop-up and the bench. The pop-up would be used to introduce our product service system to the public. The benches will stay forever. We'll take you through the customer journey to give you an idea of what we could create. Julie walks in the train station and sees the pop-up. She takes a closer look and enters. Meaningful messages are projected on her body. She reads the messages in the digital mirror and can relate. Julie decides to take a picture at the photo booth. She posted on her Instagram using the hashtag that was written on the wall. The hashtag has been used a lot already and she feels connected to the others. Julie downloads the app. Julie continues her journey by going to the next part, the mood swing. Other people are using the swing and Julie sees how the mood lights on the wall change. It reminds her that mood swings are very common. Julie continues to the listen wall. Whoa, this is impressive. All these people on the wall look so familiar, just so normal. She starts listening to the testimonials.
Sometimes I feel squeezed between two walls. It's like in movies. Someone is stuck, tense, sweats. Well, that's what I mean.
Let's go and explore the next part. Julie reads what's on the wall, information about who can offer help. There's a part for the older generation too, so they get educated about mental health problems and social media. Julie continues her visit. The wall asks her how she feels. Today, Julie is feeling insecure, maybe even a little sad. Julie pressed the emotion button. A big screen shows her how others are feeling. These statistics can be seen all over the city. Julie is excited and proceeds to the next part of the pop-up. Julie has to scan a QR code and write a message in order to receive another one. Aha, another message comes out of the wall, printed on a stress ball. On the back of the ball there's a QR code, with which she can send an answer. Julie has come to the end of the pop-up. She leaves the stand with a warm feeling and notices cool benches next to the pop-up. An information board tells her the bench has a lot of possibilities. Julie goes home and gets a notification of the app. It's a quote, tip or mission. She'll get this every day. Julie decides to take a better look at the app. Next to the quotes, Julie can post and listen spoken messages to avoid miscommunication. The app also asks her every day how she feels. After a few days of feeling bad, the app has noticed Julie should talk more about her problems. The app suggests to Julie how she could feel better. Thanks to the tips, Julie gets in touch with a buddy who has similar problems as she does or just wants to talk to her. Julie makes an appointment at the bench with her buddy. She goes to the appointment and has a meaningful conversation. The bench guides them through the conversation thanks to a little game full of questions. Julie could have used the bench without the buddy too, by scanning the QR code and playing the game on her own. How the conversation goes totally depends on Julie. By turning the bench, she decides to either look her buddy in the eyes or not. Julie leaves the bench with a feeling of relief. She will certainly come back when she needs some support. To ensure that this concept went in the right direction, we briefly checked it with our stakeholders. We're still waiting for their answers. In the next weeks, we will further elaborate and detail our concept, and we will make a prototype based on cardboard. We're planning to make a kind of maquette of the whole setting and figure out how our app should look. Thank you for watching, and we're looking forward to your feedback.